Hi everybody. Thank you very much to all the back patrons that have actually clicked onto this video. So I can sit here and explain to you everything I know, or everything about this, or everything I know about this 2020 Rubicon Wrangler. It's not a Wrangler, it's a Gladiator Rubicon 4x4. 6-speed manual. This right here is part of my brother's estate, and I am in charge of selling all the cars. I've already, I've had 2 auctions already on Bring a Trailer, and this is number 3. This was his everyday car. He drove it back and forth to work. And what it is that if you take a look at the Carfax has every single maintenance record from Dodge, because he only had this serviced at the Dodge dealership, and from what I know, they put the winch on and they put the bumper on, all the other stuff on this thing, all the other extra stuff, they put that on, so it's all dealer installed. I'm not sure he bought it from the dealer, but I know he had the dealers actually install it. When I contacted them to get all the maintenance records so I could take pictures of them, they wouldn't help me out. It was like dealing with most Dodge dealers. It was not fun. But they said, oh, well, just go buy a Carfax report and it'll all be on there so you can print it out there. Well, with Bring a Trailer, they give you a free Carfax anyway. So what happens is if you go on to Carfax, you'll see the Carfax report. Click on all the maintenance records and just download them if you want to buy the car. That way you can have it, because Dodge is not going to send it to you. Even if you give them the VIN, they're not going to send it to you. Yeah, it's one of many experiences I've had with Dodge. Okay, we're done with that. But what it is, the only good thing, the only good thing that we have from Dodge is this. This right here is, what is it they call it? It's a 50/60 pre-owned maximum care plan through Mopar Vehicle Protection. Sounds fancy. It's effective until June 29th, June 28th, 2027, or 95,431 miles. What it is that this car has, I think it's like 62,000 miles, maybe a little over, on it. So you got, what is it, 32,000 miles left on the actual warranty, and you got a little over 1 year. So you can feel safe with this, because I keep hearing all this stuff about the Hemi Tech. Well, we're gonna open up the hood on this thing and we'll start it. When it's cold, show there's no tick. There isn't. And we'll get outside, we'll get it warmed up, we'll look at it, there's no tick, because I've driven the car before. It drives like any other Jeep, but it's a 6-speed manual, which is really good, and my brother and I we're all into manuals. I mean, that's all I own. I mean, that's all the cars that he has are all manuals, except for, the Red Eye and the C8, which they didn't offer manuals in. But that's beside the point, you'll see those later. What I want to do is I want to lift this thing up. We're going to go underneath it and look at every single thing underneath, bring it down, I'll start the engine, and then we'll bring it outside, let it warm up and walk around it so you can see every single thing on this car so you can be happy with bidding on it. I don't want you to bid on something that's, you'd be disappointed in. You hear all these stories, whether it's through Bad or Makem or Goodings or whatever auction it is. You see these people, they save all their lives. They buy this really nice looking car, and this dealer flipper basically went out and made it look beautiful, but everything underneath is just destroyed. And you look at it and you feel so sorry for them, because this was their dream car, and this, I'm trying to be nice without swearing, type of person that has a special place in a certain place that is reserved for them to do this to people for their dreams. But I want to make sure that you see every single thing that I see, because this is the first time I bring this thing up, so you'll see what I see underneath it. But expect it. It's a Northeastern car. There's going to be rust here and there, surface rust on components, whatever. But it's, the main thing is you're looking at it for there's no rot and there's no oil leaks or anything like that. That's a big thing. So let's get this thing up in the air so we can look underneath it with the lights and all that stuff, then bring it outside. Okay, let's start at the front. Get some rust here, right there. A little bit of rust here. Let me get the lights. A little bit of rust scale right here, right here. The ball joints actually look new right here. That, I don't know, it looks fairly new. Can't really tell. But on the left-hand side, standard, you know, some rust here, some rust there. You know, it's all surface. It's not really bad. You know, it's what you kind of expect from a car of this vintage, at least here in the Northeast. Some rust right on here. No boots are ripped. The boot's not ripped there. Geez, that looks kind of new. Let's look up inside here. I don't know what this thing is, but there's the condenser and the radiator. There's no leaks. That's a good thing. Take a look at the side of the motor. On the right-hand side of the motor, there's a little bit of seepage right there, a little bit of wetness, but not bad, not really leaking, but you know, it's something you kind of expect with 60,000 miles on it. Let's go underneath the car. All right, here we are on the right-hand side of the vehicle, on the back side. Typical 60,000 miles. There are the Fox shocks that it comes with. Here's the axle. There's nothing leaking on the axle. We go over here to the left-hand side, same thing. And if you look at the rotors, they look brand new. The ball joints on the bottom look kind of new, but I can't really tell if they are new or not. And there's the Fox shocks right there. We come back here. Here's the catalytic converter on the left-hand side. There's the engine mount. There's the steering box. We come here. Here's the oil pan right there. I think the oil was just changed, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check. There's the transmission. And if you look where the transmission meets the engine, there's no leaks there. So the rear main seal is good. There is the other catalytic converter for the right-hand side. If we go back here, the heat shields are still on the transmission cooler line, on the transmission. And on the transfer case, it's just dirty. There's no oil seeping out. There's a little bit of rust right there, but not bad, just surface. And there's underneath for those bars, there's rust on there. And a little bit of rust here. If we take a look at the transfer case on the back, it's a little dirty, but you know, it doesn't really look like there's any, you know, oil coming out, you know, and there are all the lines. Here's the exhaust. It's a Mopar muffler, so it's all stock right here. And I think that's lanolin coated on that thing, but I'm not going to touch it right now. So here's the bottom skid plate also. And here's over here on this, there's rust right there. Not bad, it's all surface rust. There's no, you know, real rust. That's probably the worst looking right there, but it's the aftermarket side steps. We go back here to the axle on the front part of the differential housing. There's no leaks, so that seal's good. The four links are all good. The rubber's not cracked here on the right-hand side. If you look at the brakes, I can't really tell, but they look almost new. I swear they were replaced here recently. Go over here to the left-hand side. Same thing, surface rust. Not bad. It's, you know, typical Northeastern car. And you still have the stock exhaust all the way back here. Here is the spare tire right there. There's rust on it, but not bad. Let me duck underneath this thing so I can show you underneath a little bit better. Here on the back, you know, pretty much just dirty. Standard car. There's the brakes. Brakes look pretty much new. Here's the aftermarket. I think this is a push bar or bumper bar or something like that. There's the original spare tire. Go over to here. There's this. And there's that. All right, let me put this thing down so we can drive it out and show you the exterior part. There it is, the engine that's cold and it's not ticking. I'm going to wait till it warms up, drive it out, and then to make sure there's no ticking when it's warm, because they said to check it either when it's cold or when it's hot. I don't know. The only reason why I know about the tick is because of Booty's garage. All right, let me stop that. Let me bring this up to temperature, then we'll bring it outside and we'll see if it's ticking. Here's the engine. You can hear. Look at how clean it is. We did have it detailed, so just to let you know. And it's nice and quiet. The only ticking you hear is the injectors. I can hear those clicking, and that's about it. Everything else seems to be pretty nice. It's all nice and wired up. Nothing else out of the ordinary. I don't know what AFE power is, but it's something. So let's start at the front. Let me bring the hood down. Oh, there's the emission control. Standing back here. Fender lights all look good. No ghosting. Some bug splatter right there, not bad. On the bumper, you have some scale rust right here on the hook. Nothing abnormal. A little bit on the winch. It's a synthetic rope. Here is this, here is that, here is this, and some more, you know, just surface rust down through here. Take a look at the fender. It's all nice, pretty clean. Couple nicks right there. There's a nick right here. Some right inside here, some buildup wax residue. Other than that, it looks really nice. We have these off-road lights, a little bit of stuff right here. We go up here. I guess this is all aftermarket, I think. It could be Dodge, not sure. But you have some rust right there, and this is also another light. I haven't tested them, so I think they're okay, but I'm not sure. If you look on the foot rails, little scaling right there. The door, the actual paint itself looks really nice. There's some scrape right there, right here, right here. Take a look around. Here's the fenders. There's the Fox shocks. There's the wheels. I don't think those are stock. I don't think so. But if you look, the rotors look brand new. Same thing with the pads. Then we go to the front on the left side. Same thing, just a little bit of surface rust on them from sitting. And they're inky wheels. That's not bad. So I'm not sure if Dodge uses those or not. We'll come around here to the back. Here's the tailgate. Hooks, everything looks pretty nice. I covered the plate. And if we go underneath here, right there, let's see if we can lift this up. There's the bed. You know, it looks like it's very little wear, but it's not bad. You know, some dirt, but the tonneau, or whatever you want to call these things, these covers, looks fine. Same thing with the bed. You know, just a sort of scratches, typical truck stuff right here. Is inside there. Here's the tail light. Here's the side. There's no dents or anything like that. Just some, you know, minor scratches right here, right here. Take a look around, some wax buildup right there. Same thing. There's wax here and there, but other than that, looks pretty good. A couple of blemishes right there. A little bit of rust right there, and some blemishes right there. Here's the side steps, some scaling in right there. Same thing right here. Some scratches right there. Still has a bullet right there, looks like a 50 cal. Here's this side light. We go up this section right here. A little bit of rust right there. And we have the WeatherTech things right here. I'm not sure if Dodge put those on or not, don't know. Let's go around here, and that pretty much leads to the entire around the vehicle. Let me open up the cabin. Let me just turn this off for just a second and open up this. Here's the interior. Some scratches right here, and right here, some wear. Nothing on the bolsters. Seats look pretty good. Here it is. As you can see, it's up to temperature. And the mileage is 62,109. There's a different, or front and rear diff, all that Rubicon stuff. And there's a 6-speed. Still has the original seats. There's this side right here. There's the door panel. I'm not sure if this is normally like that, but it could be just from wear. Here's the back. They don't even look like they've been sat in. Here's this. You come down here, a little bit of scuffing right there, not bad. Right here, from where the door hits, and right there. Let's go around to the other side. Here's the passenger side. You're going to scrape right here on the leather and right here. Other than that, it looks pretty nice. There's the door jambs. A little bit of corrosion right there. Here's we have another pocket that's falling down just like that. There's the door. Here's the jamb. A little bit of scraping right there. Not bad. Here, let's open up the rear. Here's the back of the seat. There's that. Here's this seat. A little scrape right here on the leather. And a little indentation, or a little scrape right there. It looks like a car seat of some sort. Or probably put a box in there and let it set. We have some scratches right along here. But that's pretty much it. Let me finish up the video. There it is. Hopefully I've showed you every single thing that's wrong with this thing. I don't know if I said it in the video. My brother was a smoker. He smoked cigars. The detailer, we had it all clean, and it doesn't really smell, but I think, you know, if you're really, if you are sensitive to it, I bet you'll smell it, because he just smoked cigars in there. That's what he did. You know, at least it wasn't cigarettes. But I hope everything is, you know, up to snuff, or I hope everything is, I hope I showed you every single thing that's wrong with the truck. That's the main thing. You know, and also, I believe I found a bumper and a front valance that it appears to go to this truck, but I'm not sure. I got to do some numbers running and stuff like that to find out exactly if it's the original bumper or valance that comes with it. It's dusty and all this other stuff, but it's, you know, brand new because it's taken off roughly when he got the truck. It's yours, no problem. You know, especially if it, you know, if I figure out it comes with that truck, it goes with this truck, guess what? It goes with you. Anything else I find that goes with a truck, it goes with you. So, any questions whatsoever, please get a hold of me, you know, through BAD or email or my YouTube channel, whatever you want to do, and we'll figure out something. All right? And thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And happy bidding.